evening. No, afternoon. It's a long podcast. We just missed me and Tom dancing today. We're going live in 25 seconds. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Has Mr. Hope recovered from his hangover? That's the main
Uh,
question. And I'm not on
Getting
about
there.
the Niners getting absolutely spanked by the Cardinals.
I'm getting there.
It's been a weird Sunday of football, isn't it? Especially
Yeah, the results were crazy.
there's been all pretty much. So you had Saints losing, Ravens trying to lose. Who else did we have losing? Bills, Browns, Browns on Broncos, beat the Cowboys. All the number one seeds or divisional leading teams seem to not want to win it.
And of course, we had the crazy inception not interception, but inception in the Browns game.
Josh Allen doing Josh Allen. That's really
Yes.
strange, isn't it? It's almost But we'll get started. We'll get started in a minute. Also, we've got tonight's game to discuss as well. But should we start with the Thursday night football?
Yes.
With Indianapolis going for 532 yards, their most since 2014 in Week 13. And Mike White's game lasted just over a quarter.
And they still didn't bring in Joe Flacco.
No. Which is a bit of a strange that one, isn't it? They brought in some guy I never heard of, and I'm not ashamed to admit that.
He was on the Niners practice. He was on the Niners for this preseason.
So you know more about this gentleman than he does.
I knew of him.
Have we seen, gentlemen, the touchdown run by Jonathan Jones?
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor.
Taylor, sorry, yeah. That one that was
The
like
72
yards.
The 78-yarder, yeah, I've seen it.
Which was like done in about, 5 seconds, I think it was?
Yeah. I also think we should commend Naeem Hines for his backflip.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that bit, I must admit. But
when he
looked like he was back as well now.
When he scored his touchdown, he did a very good backflip.
Fair enough. Has Tom got the video to upload?
I have. I'm just doing the sharing. Give me 2 minutes, and then
so we got the Jonathan Taylor touchdown, which was 78 yards.
Share it any minute now.
Like you said, Mike White lasted only a quarter before going out with was it arm injury?
Yeah, it looked like he couldn't grip the arm, so it looked like they've hit some nerves or something like that. It looked really inconspicuous as well. It looked like a cat spotting at a fly.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. In the football last season, some guy ran into a Bolton player and broke every bone, every finger.
That's interesting. That's gonna hurt. Oh, that was Forest Green.
Yeah, it was Forest Green.
Yeah, I was at that game. That was crazy. That was.
He literally just ran into the player, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. It's within 2 minutes of the game starting.
Yeah.
So it might have just caught a nerve, made it a bit.
Right back to offense. Go to Colts.
Sorry, guys.
Well, that was the audio.
We have got audio. We've potentially got the video. 1 second.
I mean, the only other video we shared is Justin Fields making the Niners defense look silly.
Which Colt McCoy did, or Colt McCoy and James Connors did.
Yeah, I was about to say, James Conner did that for the entire game, not just one time.
I mean, Colts looked okay, didn't they?
Who?
The Colts looked more like the Colts self. I still don't think they've still got a few pieces missing yet, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to catch the Titans.
No, we'll talk about the Titans in a bit because there was a bit of a shock result this morning.
But Titans have got a fairly easy run in.
Right. I mean, is everyone ready for this to be shared?
Are you sure now? Is this ready?
Yeah, I've pretty much got it ready to go.
Ready when you are. Let's show Jonathan Taylor literally doing a Derrick Henry job, really.
Right, so window. Here we go. Ready, steady, go.
Right back to offense. Go to Colts.
And look at that pace go.
Taylor's gone. Jonathan Taylor. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. As he crossed the tape at the goal line.
So he topped out at what? Just over 22 miles an hour? Was it 22.7 miles an hour? Something stupid like that. It's ridiculous. Really, really good run.
I am impressed. We saw a lot of long runs today, didn't we? Well, this weekend, I felt.
There's been a lot of long plays, a couple of long interceptions.
Yes. I mean,
we'll cover a few of them in a bit.
I was actually really impressed with the standard of play this weekend, the excitement of the play this weekend.
Very
but
much
that was unreal, that run. So
I mean, it was one of the only results we sort of expected this week because there's been a lot of surprise results.
Although I did call the next one that we're talking about, Falcons Saints. Falcons are starting to look like a half decent team now. I mean, we've seen them over in London.
Yeah.
They've probably got a future Hall of Famer in Pitts if he keeps this level up. Okay, yes, it's very much first half season.
I think it's very hard to call a rookie a future Hall of Famer.
But he is superb. But they scored 10 points? 10 points in the last minute and a half.
Yeah, but you can see why everyone was so hot on him. I mean, we were lucky enough to see his breakout game.
Yes.
That one-handed catch will stick out in my mind, if I'm honest with you.
Ollie, does this stick out in your mind?
Not live. No.
Does the bar stick out in your mind?
Yeah, don't talk to me about the bar. Actually, I don't think I was at the bar at that point. I actually think I was at the toilet at that point.
I'm sorry, was the bar bad at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
It would have been nice if they showed the game instead of being able to watch it on my phone. I can hear the atmosphere, and I was like, okay, something's about to happen. Game pass being 20 seconds behind the actual stadium atmosphere. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I mean, Trevor Simeon played well again.
Yeah, well, the Falcons tried to blow a lead like they usually do.
Yeah. I mean, they were, what? New Orleans scored 22 points in the last quarter. 25 points in the second half. They were 10 down at halftime. And Matt Ryan's looking really good. Matt Ryan's looking like Matt Ryan of when they got into the Super Bowl.
The question is Matt Ryan a potential future Hall of Famer?
I think if he had won the Super Bowl, yes. But I don't know. I don't. He's probably not a first ballot.
I feel like he's in a Phil Rivers sort of category.
Yes, just with half the kids, probably even about 10th of the kids actually. But I mean, Matt Ryan, he threw 23 for 30, 343 yards for 2 TDs. I mean, Cordell Patterson had another game and a half. He had, as that just clashed up in front of me.
Yeah, me going in hard on Mike Davis this season. Fantasy football hasn't done me well.
Yeah, but did anyone really expect them to be using Cordell Patterson as heavy as he is? Cordell Patterson has been known as probably one of the best kick returners in the league.
Yes.
And now that we're seeing his potential as running back,
wide receiver, whatever they want.
He had 136 scrimmage yards this weekend. No TDs, but 136 scrimmage yards. Matt Ryan ran for one, which was shocked. Don't ask me to pronounce his name. He's got their 2 TDs. Zacharias, is that how it's pronounced? Zacharias?
Yeah, Zacharias.
He only had 3 receptions, 58 yards, and 2 of them were touchdowns.
Yeah.
Whenever they looked, I didn't see any bad throws from Matt Ryan. Didn't see any bad throws from Trevor Simeon. They were both really good with the ball. Both really looked after the ball.
Alvin Kamara had quite a good game too.
Who did
so? Yeah, Kamara had a very good game.
Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Right.
That didn't really stand out, but I thought he looked very good.
He looks sharp, doesn't he? And he's very explosive. And that's what makes him come out so good.
His 20 points didn't really help me win in fantasy football, but I still think he looks very good.
Just a quick one, guys. Anyone who's watching, get involved in the comments. Leave your comments up. I will try. I mean, I saw on another podcast somebody managed to get the comments up on the screen. So if you've got a question for us about the game, feel free to ask it, and we'll get them up on here, and we'll see what we all think about the question. And let us know who you support as well.
Yeah, it's so if we roll on to, I'm going to say probably the first big shock of the week down in AT&T Stadium, where no one expected the Broncos to go out to a 30-point lead.
I know that was crazy, wasn't it? At one point, I thought the Cowboys were going to bring Cooper Rush back in.
I did as well, because Dak looked shocking, absolutely really poor.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't happy that the Cowboys got crushed. But
no, I mean,
I was on the train back from Bolton, and I was looking at the scores coming in, and I just saw Broncos just win. I was like, I was double checking my phone because I like you said, you just didn't expect it happening, and just they didn't look.
Yeah, the Cowboys were 6-1 on to win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver have beaten Dallas 7 straight games on the bounce now. Was it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was it that shock? When you see that, you wouldn't. You go, oh, it's common occurrence. But the way that the Cowboys have played this season, and then you saw that game, you would have thought they were, they were the 4-4 team, and Denver were the 6-1 team. It wasn't. It was very much. I mean, Denver without Von Miller, you would have thought Cowboys would have put up big numbers against them. I mean, Dak Prescott only threw for 232 yards, only 19 completions out of 39, so it's just under 50%. Zeke only ran for 51 yards. There wasn't any big chunk plays from Dallas, what they normally have. It was a really poor game for Dallas, but I mean, they weren't the only number 1 seeds or number 2 seeds, apart from Arizona, who looked like the number 1, number 2 seeds or division leading team.
The thing is, I don't think Arizona even looked like that.
I think they do. If I'm honest,
I would disagree with that. I mean, they had Colt McCoy, your main, your possible MVP quarterback there. You've probably got a future Hall of Famer wide receiver, both out. Future Hall of Famer defensive end out, and yet they didn't really give you guys a shot. But we'll talk about them in a bit.
I mean, I think that was the best of two of a game of 2 poor games for the teams. But we'll get to that.
New England making Sam Darnold see the ghosts again.
Yeah, I mean, New England are on fire. They've won, 4 of their last 5 now?
4 of the last 5, they're unbeaten away from home.
Yeah, well, the Niners won 1 of their last 11 at home, so...
What's the stat I saw earlier? There's 2 stats I've seen recently, okay? One is Mac Jones joins Andrew Luck and Dak Prescott as the only rookies since the merger to have 5+ wins, 10 touchdowns, and 2,000 yards in the first 9 games of their career.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Mac Jones is having an impressive...
I mean, we say that, but looking at Mac Jones' stats, it's not that good.
It's very, very... They are slowly starting to open up the playbook with him. I mean...
12 for 18, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. isn't that impressive.
It wasn't that impressive, but they are going to very much a running offense now.
That is true.
I mean, road wins, rookie QBs, the first 3 road win starts, or 3+ starts. 2016, Dak. 2004, Big Ben. 1983, Dan Marino and Mac this year. Dak and Ben had 6 each. Mac has 4, Dan Marino has 3 road wins in their first rookie season. They are good stats, and C-Mac didn't get much of a look at, which I kind of guessed.
I mean, he was clearly on a pitch count.
Yeah, he had his wings very much clipped. They were still using Herbert and the other running back a lot, and just using sparingly. How many rushing attempts did he have? So he still had 14 carries and 4 receptions out of 5 targets. He still had 106 yards, but considering C-Mac was quite often 200-yard game receiving and running, well over 100 yards, normally get a TD. But my question is, do Panthers bring in a quarterback in the draft?
They're going to have to, aren't they?
There's not a huge amount. Sam Darnold, apart from 3 games this year, has looked very, very ordinary at times.
I mean, I think we need to see how Darnold plays for the rest of the season.
I mean, their schedule is, let me just have a look. They have now got Arizona, Washington, Miami, Atlanta, Buffalo, Tampa, twice, and New Orleans.
Well, I mean, there are some...
It's very hard.
It is hard.
I think Darnold has now struggled at 2 teams.
Yes, agreed.
And I do think that Carolina are a lot better team with regards to players than Jets are.
With Darnold's form, though, it's kind of corresponded with C-Mac being out. C-Mac is that security blanket, like
yes,
Henry is for Tannehill.
it's something.
I mean, to say that, but look at Titans. Titans are still getting it done.
Yeah, but the Titans have other weapons that Carolina don't have, especially now DJ Moore's injured.
Yeah, he hobbled off quite nicely, didn't he? I mean, Patriots Defense is looking like a really good unit, even though they did give the ball to Gilly at one point. It was like back at Foxborough. Have the ball. No, crap. One person. But their Patriots running offense is looking really good. They are going to be a run-heavy offense. That said something, There's only really Myers that gets a lot of plays. Although Brandon Bolden had a really good game.
Jacoby Myers still not got his touchdown, though.
No. Jacoby Myers will never get a touchdown. I don't think he's going to be one of them players who doesn't get a touchdown. Our kick returner, Gunner is under concussion protocol.
Yeah, but Folk is looking good again.
Oh, Folk's always look good. I've never had any worries of Folk.
Yeah, I don't understand why Folk doesn't get enough recognition, really.
Yeah. I've said on the Patriots group chat, we've been really lucky with our last 3 kickers. We've had probably 2 of the best kickers, ever. And now we've got Folk, who is solid, reliable, very rarely misses, and has got a fairly decent leg on him.
Same with Bobby Gold for the Niners, I think.
Yeah.
Now he's back.
And you give him a chance to score. Yeah, there seems to be a thing in the league. If you have a good kicker, you keep them. Thomas, would you like to have your rant? As we go to MT&T Stadium.
Did you find that
Unfortunately, I have not. I've had a quick scout on NFL's TikTok, and I cannot find it. The only ones I can see is the
Bengals.
Arizona's player literally running through several 49ers players, and Denzel Ward's 100 yards.
We can't keep on showing videos that make the Niners look rubbish, can we? Really?
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
3 and 5. It's not exactly good, is it?
No, it's not.
And didn't me and you and Ollie had a little bet at the start of the season? Which, to be fair, Tom still needs to have a green hat on, a cheese head on.
We
I
had a
can't
bet
find it, but I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to buy one eventually.
Etsy.
Yeah.
Me and Ollie both found you on an Etsy.
Yep, for like $19 or something like that one.
You can.
We'll put the link in the chat for you, mate.
Yeah, thank you. You are very good people. Okay.
Yeah, but I believe it was just after 5 weeks. We never had a bet for the whole season.
It was after 5 weeks, and we both ended at what, 3 and 2, something stupid like that, wasn't it?
2 and 3.
Yeah. So, Vikings blowing a 14-point lead twice.
Okay.
Twice.
I know. No, I know. It's getting beyond a joke now. It really is. And the annoying thing is, the worst thing is about all of this game in particular. We played well. We looked good. Dalvin Cook had his best game of the season, in my opinion, this week.
110 yards for 17 rushes, wasn't it?
Yeah, he looked good. We had a 97-yard kickoff return touchdown by a rookie. He was amazing. He made the defense look poor. Anthony Barr did his best to win us the game in overtime by picking up that fumble, but we still couldn't get it done. And I'd love to say it was Kirk, it was the players, it was everyone. Vikes doing the Vikes, yeah.
Don't give me control of the banner.
You look at Kirk and you see him going out to do all these plays, and his body language just looks like, what the hell? What am I being asked to do? Like, he knows he has got Jefferson, he's got Thielen, he has got Ham, he has got Cook to run to pass to. He's got so many weapons to use in the passing game, and we choose to consistently run it. And teams know what we're doing. Teams know exactly that if Dalvin Cook is on the field behind Kirk, it's going to get passed to him, and he's going to run it. Do you
think that's Zimmer, or do you think that's the OC?
I think it's Zimmer.
Because I've got some stuff to say about D'Amico Ryans when the Niners come
out. I think it's coming to a case now. You've got a very explosive offense. You've got probably 3 of the best wide receivers, running back. Even the tight end is a very, very good tight end in your core.
We've got a good defense. Well, we've got good defenders. We haven't got.
I mean, Cook still ran for 110 yards yesterday.
What's that?
Cook still ran for 110 yards yesterday.
Yeah, like I said, he was on fire. He looked good, but there's only so many times you can pass it to him.
Adam Thielen, 2 receptions for 6 yards. Admittedly, one of them was for a touchdown.
I mean, but Jefferson picked up the slack with 3 receptions for 69 yards and Conklin 5 for 45.
You would go normally they normally spread the play. It's normally Jefferson, Coughlin, Cook, and Thielen to get the majority of the passes.
Yeah.
The ball has been spread around a lot. You got D.D. Westbrook, Madison, Stoker, Cook, Osborne, Ham, Coughlin, Jefferson, all picking up reception or having targets, and most of them were aimed at the tight end. So it's not like you're just going straight for Cook. You are passing the ball around.
I forgot that D.D. Westbrook even went to the Vikings before this game.
Yeah. But Osborne looks a good talent. We've got, like I said, we've got a good team. I think we have a really good team. I think, and yeah, the OC does have to take a bit of blame, but I think it is still on Zimmer.
Have you noticed though? It is normally the OC or the DC who goes before the head coach.
Yeah,
because they are 9 times out of 10, and very rarely now that I'm trying to think. Belichick does occasionally. There is a very few head coaches that call plays. They normally leave it to the coordinators.
Shanahan calls offense for the Niners.
I'm
We'll
trying
talk
to
about
find.
Shanahan in a minute because I've got a question about Shanahan, which someone
I'm trying to
asked me
find
the
a
other day.
quote that was very interesting from the one of our assistant coaches, and it was Peterson who said, "We have to stop trying to hold teams and start going for winning games." And I mean, Zimmer has already said that we need to start keeping our foot on the throat of our opponents, but he's the guy who can do that. He's the guy who can get that done, and he's not doing. I mean, there's all these rumors about Odell coming to us.
I don't think you need another receiver.
The teams I've seen is Seahawks or Niners.
I've also seen us.
There's been rumors for years about OBJ coming to us.
Along with when he left New York, it was New England was his preferred choice, but the only reason he went to Cleveland was because of Landry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah, he clears waivers tonight, doesn't he? Is it 10 o'clock tonight?
I think people can pick him up from 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
But Baltimore's 12th straight win against NFC opponents. That's the longest active streak going at the moment. They've got to be one of the best teams in the NFC, haven't they? Lamar is looking very, very good, like he did in his MVP season.
Yeah, I like Lamar. I have to admit, I really do. But yesterday he looked the business. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly where his players were. He had got great awareness. Against our defense, who is known for sacking QBs.
Yep. Shall we go now to probably? I'm not going to say the shockest result, one of the shock results, but I'm going to say the shock scoreline.
Yeah, well,
Cleveland against Cincinnati.
Cincinnati been interesting because I thought they were going to bounce back after losing to the Jets with a big win, but it went almost the opposite way with a massive loss.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland now have got. I said onto the Patriots WhatsApp group that the Cleveland have got their defense fit and healthy, and that Cleveland defense, when fit and healthy, especially the DBs, you're very, very good, incredibly good DBs. I mean, Denzel Ward had a touchdown return, which I want to laugh about. Joe Burrow's falling over. Please play the video, Tom, of a 97-yard, 100 touchdown return.
I think it was 98 yards.
But yeah, Browns just
I've got the video ready if you want to play it.
Yeah, of course.
I think it is the right one. I'm hoping it's the right one.
not the Niners one.
It's not the Niners one, although that would have been that may have been deliberate if I did do that, but it's not. Right. Here we go. Right.
Make it to him. Burrow has a target in sight. It's stolen.
And Joe Burrow's about to fall over. Whee!
Full 100 yards to glory.
That Joe Burrow getting his ankles broken will never not be funny.
No, that's going to be a meme coming up in a few weeks, isn't it? You can see it now. I mean, that's the first time I think we've seen Denzel Ward fit for a few weeks.
He's only missed 1 week, but I think he's been playing hurt for a couple of weeks before that.
It worries me for us next week.
Have you got the Browns next week?
We got the Browns.
Wow, it looks like we've all got some. Who have the Vikings got next week? Because I know we've got the Rams.
We've got. That's a bloody good question. 1 second. You've got the schedule to hand, haven't you?
You've got Chargers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just said that we're going to lose that one.
All got tough games next week, then.
Yeah, I mean, Browns looked a lot better. Peoples-Jones went for an 80-yard touchdown as well.
Peoples-Jones is having a breakout season.
He is having a breakout season. And I think that proved to Odell Beckham's dad that, Baker can throw long. I think that was a kind of like 2 fingers up to Odell Beckham's dad, wasn't he, going, see, I can do that.
And that they can do it without Odell.
But to be fair, probably most people who say they've been doing it without Odell for years.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, second most QB wins in the first 4 seasons as a Brown QB.
Yeah. It's
27
weird
of them.
because Baker played well, but his stats don't really jump out with you. Well, he's out of you 14 for 21, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He still scored double the amount of points that my starting quarterback did.
Who's your starting quarterback?
I put Danny Dimes as starting quarterback this week.
I mean, I have lots of different leagues. In the fantasy league, in the podcast league, I had Stafford, who did nothing for me. But in the other league I have that I care about, I have Kirk, who's on fire for me.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
And we've lost Tom.
Yeah. He's vanished. I don't know where he's gone. Yeah, Browns looked really good. Defense looks good. Offense looks good. And then you've got the Myles Garrett effect, which is always going to scare people, isn't it?
Yes. Burrow's 28 for 40, 282 yards sounds good. It's just when you look at the 0 touchdowns from the 2 interceptions that makes it look bad.
Browns' biggest win over Cincinnati since 1987, when they blew them out for, what was it, 30-odd something shutout or 30-odd point shutout. They both go to 5-4. It closes that division up. Obviously, they're going to want Pittsburgh to lose tonight.
I mean, I think the Ravens are going to win that. I think the Ravens are going to win that division anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Steelers are now, believe it or not, they're 4-3. So if Bears win tonight, that makes them 4-4. We'll put them bottom of that division.
Freddie's getting very excited on the group chat I'm in with him.
Is he? And he's still not commenting on these videos. I'm very angry with him. Josh Allen multiverse.
Yes, the inception of Josh Allen, both sacking and picking off Josh Allen.
And recovering a fumble.
Yes. I mean, what was missing off the Josh Allen bingo? A pick 6?
Possibly, yeah. I mean,
to be honest, a touchdown throw would have been nice.
A big man play. I mean, it's Jacksonville's first win since week 1 on US soil in 2020. And it was
also their first field goal on US soil this season.
I know, yeah, but did you see that Matt Wright missed 2 on the bounce?
Did he?
So he kicked one, it got flagged, and then he missed it again 5 yards closer, pulled them both left. Which is strange because both his right kicks in London went right, didn't they? And then come back.
Well, I mean, it's in the US. Maybe the wind was going a different way.
Maybe, but Bills, Josh Allen.
The wind definitely played a part in it. Josh Allen made some really poor mistakes. I mean,
hold on, which Josh Which Josh
Bills.
Allen are we talking back here?
Bills, Josh Allen. He looked poor.
He did. Josh Allen, we all agree, and we've said this many times, that he is now an elite quarterback. He is in that elite group. He's one of the best. He will get to the Super Bowl in the next few seasons. I do believe that.
I mean, I think
But
if you look at the stats of Josh Allen, it's very similar to Joe Burrow's because 31-47, 264 yards. Doesn't sound too bad. Then you look 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe not that good.
I put on the group chat, didn't he? Oh, Trevor Lawrence got taken out of the game for a couple of plays, and Befford come in. And Befford 2 for 33 yards. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he went 15 for 26 for 118 yards. That's not impressive. Look at the score, it was 9-6 the end of the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But I've got a question for Mr. Hope.
Okay.
Are you still convinced the Bills will reach the Super Bowl this year?
Yes.
You're still convinced, even though they're 5-3 at the moment, and Patriots are only one game back.
They had a bad game.
They've had 3 bad games.
I think we can all agree that the Patriots.
Well, no, I think I'm going to say 2 bad games.
They were unlucky.
They were bad against Steelers week 1.
Yeah,
and
that's
they were unlucky against.
They were unlucky against the Titans, and I think Sean McDermott did the right thing going for that 4th and 1.
Yeah, you got to.
But yeah, I think they will get to the Super Bowl. I think they'll sort out these bad games, and I still think they're going to win your division and
beat the Patriots.
Yeah, they'll do the double over the Patriots.
I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, he had a poor game. We all agree with that. He didn't look himself, but he still pulled out some nice plays.
Josh Allen will always have that Josh Allen.
Yeah, he still had that Josh Allen feel. But then Josh Allen's his namesake, number 41. He looked absolutely incredible. He is my player of the week. I'm going to say that early.
Oh, I've got 3. I haven't made up which one. I haven't made up my mind which ones yet. I'm going to go.
Is one of those somebody plays for the Cards, by the way?
Yeah, it's one of them, and I've got 2 defensive players as well this week. Just because Ollie says I never pick defensive players, I've gone for 2 defensive players this week.
I've not made a decision yet on my pair.
I want to go to somewhere next where the newest Grand Prix is going to be next year.
Oh yeah, have you seen how much the tickets are for that Grand Prix?
$2,000, aren't they? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So Hard Rock Stadium. Okay, yes, it wasn't the lowest scoring game of the day, but it was probably the standard was the worst scoring game. I don't actually remember seeing them on Red Zone very much in the second half during the broadcast.
Wooden Spoon Bowl.
No, that's gone to the blooming Lions all day long already. It was shocking. I mean, it's a case of no one really wants to win that game because you're going to go further down the picks.
Tua, again, the Dolphins are doing better without Tua.
Tua is made of blooming Weetabix, I think. For American friends, that is a cereal that breaks very easily. Because he's got finger injuries, rib injuries at the moment. He's carrying if this lad's going to be a franchise quarterback, if this lad's going to be a franchise quarterback and you want him to be a franchise quarterback, give him a few weeks off, put him on IR, like Panthers did with Christian McCaffrey. Protect your franchise. McCaffrey, yeah. Protect your best players.
But then we've said already that there is questions over whether the Dolphins see Tua as their franchise.
He doesn't feel he doesn't feel wanted. Remember,
he doesn't feel wanted. He doesn't look wanted. He doesn't act like he's wanted. No. He's not done what everyone thought he was going to do. I mean, I think we all think Deshaun will be their starting quarterback. Yeah, well, depending on unless he's in a federal jail.
Yes.
I mean, well, I don't think he is. He's going to be like, he'll pay off the people, won't he? And he'll get thrown away, and he'll get swept under. And he'll get swept.
We'll go into that on Tuesday. In the pre-season probably.
Yeah. Texans are a very disjointed franchise at the moment. Miami aren't much better.
Just
No,
want
but
to
you
talk
can
about
blame-
this. Like, apparently, 2 teams offered 3 first-round picks for Deshaun. It was turned down.
Well, that's not LA because they haven't got any. Any
It
picks?
was-
Full
it was-
stop.
It was Miami and Carolina.
The thing is with Texans, they've got an excuse for the poor performance. I still believe that without Deshaun,
Sorry, Tom. Ollie, did you just say Carolina?
Yeah.
God, imagine C-Mac and Deshaun Watson.
I'm
Holy
sure it's
crap, that would be scary, wouldn't it?
I'm sure it's Carolina.
Yeah. Carry on, Tom. Sorry, mate.
Without Deshaun, they are a completely different animal, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they've lost Hopkins last year. They've lost JJ this year as well. You know, so they're losing that spark on offense and defense. And they are hoping special teams does it, and that's what seems to be doing it at the minute.
So without any of their weapons and with Deshaun increasingly looking like he's heading towards that exit, wherever he is, he will end up. So they have to use this draft.
Yeah.
Really, really
They've
smart.
got a lot of picks, haven't they?
They've got to use them though.
Yeah, just quickly, the article I was talking about said the Carolina Panthers and Miami Dolphins both engaged with the Texans in the week leading up to deadline, but Panthers owner David Tepper decided not to move forward before the deadline, and Dolphins owner Stephen Moss followed suit hours before the deadline because Watson hadn't settled civil cases. And the Eagles and the Broncos were also interested, but may re-engage in the off-season.
You can see if this, because this has been going, 10 months now?
Yeah.
If this isn't sorted by, say, the end of the year, as in it hasn't been prosecuted, this will get paid off.
Yes.
Which is wrong, because this is what Big Ben did when he got accused of rape.
Aren't they?
12 years ago, something like
aren't the police going through the complainants and seeing which ones have most validity?
Or which ones are genuine as well.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, they just haven't mentioned it, have they? All we're hearing is trade deal talk.
Yeah. So Houston haven't won in straight 8 games, the longest streak since 2013.
Leon has just come in saying that he should end up in jail.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Tom's gone quiet now.
No. I think that he should. I think that he is going to use his status. I mean, it annoys me that he is going to be able to pay him off, but that's the way the American justice system works. Look at OJ.
It's hard for us to comment because we don't know the extent. But from what we're hearing, yes, he should end up in jail.
I'm going to MetLife now, where shock number 4 of the night happened.
I think the Raiders were affected by the off-the-field issues that happened this week.
I mean, come on.
Though, but when they played when the game against Josh Gruden, they played better than.
Yeah, but off-the-field issues, coaching issues are different to player issues, and this guy killed a guy.
Yeah, John.
I'm just going to show this one.
Yeah.
Look, guys, I can do it. John, you are now on the podcast. Welcome.
Yeah, Raiders were poor. Whenever I saw them, there was either bad throws, no blocking, and New York didn't have their best player on the pitch.
Yeah, Saquon was injured, but also put on COVID.
and then taken off COVID and put
Yes.
back on COVID. He's been playing the COVID. He's been playing the COVID hokey, isn't he? Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I mean,
Raiders were not the team that they. Well, like John said, they were awful. I watched them on. I've just been watching Sunday in 60, and watching that game, I was like, wow, they do miss Ruggs, but you know.
Yeah, but will Deshaun
Ruggs
Jackson?
Ruggs is just a long film. I mean, you got Hunter Renfro for that.
Yeah, but
So it's not just on Ruggs. It's
Deshaun Jackson can be their new deep threat.
yeah, they're that long shot guy. Whether he's still got it in his legs, no one knows.
John, do you think that off the field issues affected you guys, or do you think it was just a bad day at the office and it would have happened anyway? Let us know.
I'm gonna go this. I think it was 6 or 1.5 does the other. I mean, Giants are getting better. They're 3-6 at the moment, so they are getting better. Whether they would have beaten them last week if this hadn't happened and Ruggs was still there, whether it's and John's just responded to you, Tom.
Yeah, for the offense to work, we need a deep threat. Without that, we look poor. Yeah, I agree.
And I'm sure, John, do you think Deshaun Jackson could help you with that? Because I know he's getting old, but he has always been a deep threat for the whole of his career.
Yeah. I like him. This is good fun. I like doing this bit.
You can thank the people at the third and not the third and long. That's us.
We are the third and long
podcast for inspiring me to do this.
Oh yes, yeah. He says hope Jackson can. I can't be able to show that one up. I'm going to say call the next game, probably the game of the night. Chargers Eagles. That was a brilliant game.
Yeah.
And it was very, very good clock management by LA in that last 5 minutes.
But it terrifies me for next week.
I mean, it makes a change for Anthony Lynn last season. Who couldn't manage a clock if it was given to him.
Or tries and throws 2 timeouts, back-to-back timeouts. Isn't that right, Tom?
Well, we know that that particular head coach probably won't be in a job in the off season. But anyway,
I'd take him at the Niners as a DC.
Well, I mean, they tried to draw 2 minutes. It was just after or just before 2-minute warning. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was just after. They went for 4-1. And they tried to draw Eagles offside. And they just trying to draw on the Eagles perfectly still, did not move. Brilliant D-line coaching. And then they took a timeout, and everyone's thinking, they're going to take a timeout, they're going to kick. They're going to go for the field goal, leave. Philadelphia had no timeouts left. They're going to kick the field goal and then just hope that they could stop them. But they didn't. They still went for it. They still went for 4th and 1. Eckler made those 2 yards, and they kept the drive going. And that's brave calling. That's what these young OCs, head coaches are now. They're very brave and very, very good at making these decisions, brave decisions. I mean, I'm going to say Sean McVay is probably the leader of that. He was the one who always goes 4-1. Sean Payton does it a lot as well in New Orleans.
I mean, so many teams are now going 4th and 1 from midfield onwards. They're going for it.
It makes a change because LA, didn't they do it when they were 4th and 6 against the Ravens on their own 30 or something like that?
Yeah, but they made that, didn't they?
Yeah, they were getting absolutely spanked.
I mean, I think there's a lot more teams actually converting on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you always have the Lamar Jacksons. You probably could expect to be converting on 4th and 1, but even teams who pass the ball.
I mean, for me,
when you've got the
Garoppolo is one of the best as the the quarterback sneak in the league,
He's followed it from the best.
which is
Isn't it?
get
Brady.
behind your biggest lineman.
Get behind your big lineman, find that little A gap, and go for it. You know,
Yes.
it's surprising when you got someone who's 6 foot plus who can literally get through that one. Justin Herbert looked good though. He looked like last week against New England was a fluke, or New England probably doled up a very good defense. But like I said earlier on the show, New England's defense is looking incredibly good at the moment.
As John just said, I think there's been a lot more teams across the NFL going for fourth downs this season. And I
There
think
is.
that's through analytics and people realizing that 4th and 1 is a convertible down.
It most definitely is. But a stat that I saw yesterday in New England, on the New England game, they're leading the stats on third down conversions. Just want to put that out there. I forgot. Jalen Hurts only had 17 passing attempts and he went for 162 yards. He did run for 62 yards as well. Is Jalen Hurts a cheap Lamar or poor man's Lamar Jackson, do you think?
I think that's a bit harsh, but in layman's terms, I guess, yes.
Because obviously he didn't play. He played what, 3/4 of the 2/3 of the season last year, because Carson Wentz was still there, wasn't he? They weren't really that rushing QB then, was he? Carson Wentz was very much a pocket and scrambling, a bit like
Which is
Rodgers
weird because
and Russell Wilson is and all that.
I feel like Carson Wentz has done quite a lot of running this year.
Yeah, he's scrambled a lot, hasn't he? More than anything else. This was billed as the big game, the next one, wasn't it? Kansas.
No Rodgers sort of.
That kind of blew that out the window. What, Thursday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was gutted. I wasn't on the Thursday show.
I think me and you spoke about it on Thursday, didn't we?
Yeah.
Arrogant. But anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, is this the vaccinated, unvaccinated thing?
Arrogance.
Someone said.
But anyway.
I saw a report saying the other day, if he was going around vaccinated or being around unvaccinated, not only does he's broken protocol, COVID protocols, but the team have broken, protocols. You know, going around the facility without a mask, meeting non-team members without a mask.
So, with that in mind, should they have their record expunged and kicked out the season? And
in your dreams, Tom, maybe.
I did see a joke the other day saying Green Bay have done X, Y, Z, breaking COVID protocols. So what do they expect the Patriots to get? A couple of picks taken off them? I think
they might get fined, but that's it.
Or they might take a third or fourth round pick off them, something like that. Take a pick off them, just to.
Did Rodgers tell the team he was vaccinated?
That's the only thing that I've not heard either way.
Because he told the world.
Yeah, exactly. He's told the world that he's vaccinated, and
so the team then go, well, you've told everyone else you're vaccinated, so why would you tell us different?
Yeah.
So I was delighted to see them get beaten.
What about the game?
Yeah.
Just while we're remembering, Colts was my banker, and I'm now 8-1.
Yes, you are. Well done. It was a poor game on both sides of the ball. Jordan Love only went 19 for 34, 190 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. He looked
His
better
O-line
in the game.
His O-line didn't help him, though.
His O-line didn't help him, no. He looked so nervous in the first half. He was overthrowing or underthrowing or just didn't look like he was ready to go into this game.
The
second half, he came out much better.
For me, Jordan Love did enough to show me that I think he has a chance of being a very good quarterback.
Yeah, that drive that he scored on. Was it 8 out of 10 completions on the drive he scored on? And it was their longest drive of the season as well.
Going into the draft, I really liked Love. I was actually higher on Love than I was Herbert.
All you need is Love.
Herbert has proved me wrong, but I think Love could be a very good quarterback. Because remember, he was still a first-round pick.
Yeah, he was.
I did read something that they picked him because he reminded them of Patrick Mahomes.
They picked him to piss off Rodgers.
Well, I mean,
And there goes our swearing ban straight away.
for me,
I mean, to be fair, 55 minutes into the show is a record for us.
Mahomes looked a bit better this week.
yeah, Mahomes looked. He didn't look like Mahomes of seasons ago, but he looked more
He was
like
making better decisions.
I mean, after Jason Osei broke down his play and called him sloppy, he came back a bit. He's obviously been watching that.
He has been very sloppy. They
He
were
has,
spot
yeah.
on. He has been incredibly sloppy. He's been making stupid plays. Like, he stopped the no-look passes since the last one got picked off. I haven't seen him do that lately. He's looking like, right, I'm going to stare down the safety. I'm going to make the safety go that way. Then I'm going to throw it that way instead of going, he made better decisions. Okay, yes, he was 20 for 37, so he's only just over 50%. But he's still not, like you said a minute ago, he's still not where he should be. He's not where Patrick Mahomes should be, the elite Patrick Mahomes.
No, and it's been a
we don't get Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, you're right. We don't.
I mean,
Coming from a true Raiders fan in the same division.
It's got to be.
it's. I do think that Mahomes is. He's been frustrating for the Kansas fans. He's been frustrating for the NFL because, we had all this about him being the passing of a torch last week. No, last season. Sorry, not last week. But yeah.
I still think he's the passing of the torch. I do still think he's him, Allen, and Herbert are the future of this league. They are going to be taking it on from Brady, Breeze, Rodgers. They are the next three elite quarterbacks that are out at the moment.
Yeah.
He's just having a bad season, which is allowed. He's taken this team for the last 3 years to the AFC Championship, 2 Super Bowls. It's his O-line that needs to work. And Mr. Hope, over to you. This is going to be fun. Shall we share the video?
I really don't want to talk about it.
I'm going to share it anyway. 1 second.
It wasn't even a Connor run either.
The one positive from that game is that Kittle scored his first touchdown for over a year.
And I dragged him back into my fantasy team. Well, in one, I forgot to put him in the other one.
That's
still an IR on the other one.
I mean, Garoppolo's stats played okay. And
Garoppolo looked, from whenever they flicked onto it red zone, because I had red zone on after the game, he looked okay. His stats are okay.
His stats are okay. Garoppolo, both of the quarterbacks played very well. It's just the fact that our receivers forgot that you need to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, you had.
However,
Brandon Ayuk, he had a fumble.
And Kittle
when
had a fumble.
After making a brilliant play, a very high point catch, comes down with the ball, turns, make the run, and forgets to hold on to the ball. It was a good bit of play from the defensive to punch it out. Kittle's fumble was inexcusable. He jumped the player. And I don't know what happened.
I think it
fell out of his hands.
I think for Kittle it was lack of game time. However,
Yeah.
Josh Norman needs to go.
Josh Norman's doing well then, yeah?
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I've not seen it.
No, I've not seen it.
Third down, we stop them and he gets called for taunting and they get an automatic first down.
Oh, I haven't seen that, no.
That is the dumbest play ever.
How many times have we said that Josh Norman is a Robbie Savage of the NFC, of the
Yes,
NFL?
but they have a 4th and long. They're not going to go for it. And then Josh Norman goes over and starts talking to Kingsbury. No, just get on with the game.
I will say though, why is there is some overreacting flags going in? Taunt that, if he has just gone over to talk to him.
Thank you, John. That taunting penalty was awful. What a silly thing to do. Exactly. Couldn't have put it better myself.
But
we needed a stop. We had a stop, and then Josh Norman goes and blows it. For that on his own, he should be cut, but he gives away way too many penalties. And
what was actually said though? Was it him actually giving them abuse, or was it just having a general chat, saying trade me, please?
Well, Kingsbury got flagged for a personal foul also, which is the first time I've ever seen a head coach be flagged for a personal foul. But in my opinion, we have 2 rookie cornerbacks. Give them a chance over some aging person who can't keep his emotions intact.
He's never been able to do that though. Josh Norman.
So cut him. He gives away too many penalties.
I would keep him on the front, on the roster, as that experienced guy to, obviously, yes, we've always said his mouth gets him in a lot of trouble. He's had many fights with AJ Green and Odell Beckham over the years. As a corner, he was probably one of the best corners at the time.
But he's not anymore.
But this is where you use his experience to almost be that on-field defensive back coach.
Yeah. So
that's where you need him.
He didn't actually go back in the game after that. And I'd also like to talk about the defense.
Go on.
As a whole, not just Josh Norman. So yes.
You sure?
Yes, the offense had issues, but the defense didn't do much. They didn't stop the Cardinals enough. And I'm not putting that down to the players. I'm putting that down to DeMeco Ryans. Yes, I know it's his first year. Yes, I know he's inexperienced. But we need a better D. We need to be a D coach. If Zimmer's available, I'd take him. If Fangio becomes available, I'd take him. I just think we need somebody experienced in defense to actually be able to coach them to A, stop giving away penalties, and B, actually play well. Because there were still PI penalties, holding penalties, taunting penalties. And yes, John, you're right. Josh Norman was arguing with his own team as he was going off too. He just needs to leave the roster. And also, we need to get a better DC. And Shanahan, yes, the buck stops with him, but he's supposed to be this offensive mastermind, not this defensive mastermind.
This is what I should have said. Is Shanahan now in the same shoes that Ollie is in, as in the United manager? Is it time for him to go? Is he in the hot seat? Is he in probably the hottest seat at the moment? Because you were very high on this team rolling into the season, saying that their divisional title should win the division, possibly make a late run into the playoffs. You have got probably one of the best offenses in the league, personnel wise. Is it time for Shanahan to go?
I think Shanahan's saving grace for the moment is Lance.
Really?
Yes.
You've got this young stud as a quarterback. Okay. You don't think it's time for him to go yet?
I think if Lance next season plays well, then Shanahan may stay. But if Lance doesn't work out, then yeah, Shanahan will go.
But do you want a younger college-style quarterback who's been in a college-style quarterback, head coach, offensive coach, who's can dial up college-style plays for Trey Lance?
Well, the thing is, NDSU is one of the most NFL-style offenses of colleges.
Fair enough. Okay. It was just a question.
I do think Shanahan's a good coach. I just think that the OC and DC, who are both in their first season, are showing their inexperience.
One thing I will say though, you always have a lot of injuries every season.
Yeah, but we changed our strength and conditioning coach, so I don't know what it is.
Let's
But
go
I mean,
on to.
Kids will back this. Kids will back Gold back and Jeff Wilson Jr. back. Are all big additions.
Yeah. Tennessee showed they don't need Derrick Henry to win games, which
Yes.
was a shock because all 5 of us went for LA to win.
Yeah, definitely.
All 5 of us, 3 of us went for LA. I was reading 5 sacks. I was reading Denver or Tennessee has 5 sacks. 3 of them to Jeffrey Simmons, who was unstoppable in that first half. No one believed Tennessee would be able to beat the Rams without Derrick Henry. Tennessee hardly put any yardage up. Don't remember Cooper Kupp touching the ball. Matt Stafford making poor decisions. There was one, he was in the end zone and he got spun around, and as he was spinning around, he let go of the ball. He threw the ball. It was same case as we said about Carson Wentz last week. Take the sack, take the safety instead of giving away the touchdown. The guy picked it up and ran it back to within 3 yards line, and they went and scored. Quarterbacks have to learn it's better to give away 2 than it is to give away 7. That's 2 quarterbacks. Yes. Experienced quarterbacks have now done that on the bounce.
Like I did say that I understand Carson Wentz's thinking with the whole time thing, but the one he had last night, yeah.
I mean, Stafford threw for 294 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Cooper Kupp, Woods and Kupp still had over 90 yards, but neither had a TD. They weren't the LA Rams' explosive offense that we've got used to this season. High scoring. Cooper Kupp's leading the receptions at the moment. He's leading in touchdowns as well. Leading scrimmage yards, I think, as well.
Just while we're talking about good, Deebo Samuel was pretty non-existent in the Niners game last night.
Yes, I know. He was sat on one of my benches. I noticed he scored sod all. There is, like I said, it was a strange week of football scores. No one expected Tennessee to put up 28 points. I mean, their rushing yardage was not huge amounts. Dante Freeman, 24. Jeremy Nichols, 24. Adrian Peterson, 21. Tannehill ran for 3. The other ones are non-existent. They went backwards. So it's not a massive amount of yardage. It's probably half of what Derrick Henry would have put up all together. Yet they still went on to beat. I mean, Tannehill only threw for 143 yards as well. Not amount. Total yardage, Tennessee 194 yards, and he ran 347.
Yeah, Tennessee scored double the points.
Average yards per play, less. Rushing, less for Tennessee. The big one is, the penalties. Tennessee had 4 to LA's 12. The turnovers did it as well, and the more clinical, more usage of the ball. It's the age-old thing, when we talk about football, is how you use your possession. You may have less, it's how you use your possession. There's no point running, having all the possession and not scoring any points. And LA Rams, I think, were shocked. I think they almost went into that mindset of they've got Derrick Henry. They haven't got Derrick Henry, it's fine. Because Derrick Henry everyone magnates towards Derrick Henry. It's that massive draws like ants to a picnic. And it gives the likes of Julio Jones and AJ Brown those one-on-one matchups. But they still was able to score double the amount of points.
So on to the game tonight?
We'll go on to the game tonight, which is Chicago Steelers. Chicago Bears against Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a new team. Or I just said Pittsburgh are losing their franchise. So Pittsburgh won 51 games on Monday Night Football. since 1940. Chicago Bears have a young quarterback. Pittsburgh have an aging Big Ben,
on his way out.
possibly in his swan song. Do we
I
think?
think it has to be his swan song this season. He's not good enough anymore.
He must know that he is not good enough, and he must know that he is not playing at the standard that he used to, and he's nowhere near the standard that he should be at.
I mean, they're the worst. They're the lowest scoring French offenses. They're 31st and 32nd in the league. They're 32nd and 39th in passing yardage in the passing game in the league.
How can somebody be 39?
32nd, sorry, and 29th. Thank you. Rushing, though, the Bears are 8th in the league. Where do you think Pittsburgh are?
Mid table, 15th, 16th.
32nd in rushing yardage.
I mean,
Despite having Najee Harris has been outstanding this year so far.
Isn't David Montgomery back for the Bears tonight?
He is, yes. He is back. It doesn't look like going to be an exciting game. It's probably going to be a defense strong game, do we think? I mean,
Yes.
the defense are ranked 2nd and 9th in the league.
Isn't Fitzpatrick out?
Fitzmagic?
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Oh, what's his name?
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Possibly, yes.
I'm sure I saw that he didn't practice on Friday.
Possibly. I can't. It doesn't say on here.
If he doesn't play, then that's a big loss for Steelers.
Fitzsimmons, Tom, have you been watching Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, I can't see it being an exciting game. I mean, the last time these two played, Chicago won 23-17. That was, over 4 years ago now. I think it's going to be that kind of tight scoreline again, one possession play. Can't see any more than that. What about yourself, gents?
I'm going to go Steelers to win. We could do a Steelers win, to be fair.
I've got Steelers to win.
Chicago by 3.
Cool. As we go on to the standings now, Tennessee stay number 1 in the AFC. Arizona bounced back up to number 1 with Green Bay dropping down to 2.
I mean, to be honest, most of the teams that have had the best week this week has been the teams on bye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baltimore move up to 2. Green Bay drop down to 2. LA Chargers move up 4 to number 3 in the AFC, where Tampa Bay, despite having a bye, as you said, moved up 1.
Do you want me to do if the playoffs started today as well? Because it looks quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if the playoffs were to stay today, there's one thing I want to talk about in a minute, which I'll just go through this, and then, Tom, you can load up the picture I've just sent across to you. Buffalo and Dallas are at number 4. Las Vegas and LA Rams are both at 5. Steelers are at the moment at 6, but obviously that could change if they lose tonight. Saints stay at 6. Patriots are now in the playoffs along with my Atlanta Falcons, both jumping up. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the AFC that are on 5-4 record as we stand. Yes.
I mean, I saw a stat today that said if you looked at AFC versus NFC games this year, it's 22 and 22.
It is. It is very, very close.
If the playoffs were to start today, I think there are some great matchups already mentioned, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, obviously Tennessee and Arizona have the byes. You got in the AFC, you would have Baltimore against New England.
At Baltimore, which I think would be a great game.
At Baltimore. Baltimore. Chargers against Steelers. Bills against Raiders. You would have Green Bay hosting Atlanta. Buccaneers hosting New Orleans. And Cowboys-Rams, which that would be a hell of a game.
Cowboys-Rams would be a great game.
Looking at that playoff picture, I would go with the Super Bowl being Bills versus Cards.
Wouldn't it be funny if you had Tampa against New England? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it would be. I reckon it would be Baltimore against Arizona. That would be a hell of a Super Bowl.
I think Bills versus probably the Rams.
Bills Rams.
I mean, John does put that comment on, but then does say sorry Steelers. But I think it's more the fact that the Vikings fan wanted the Bears loss.
Yeah.
I think on Thursday we're grading our teams, aren't we? We're grading giving the grades to each teams on Thursday.
Yes.
Half season grading.
Just
shall
before
we
go,
answer
shall
that?
we answer this question?
Wally, what do you think, Mr. Hope?
I think it will be very similar. I can't see much changing, to be honest. I think the Falcons may drop out, and the Patriots and potentially the Saints without Jameis Winston. But I do think that it will be quite similar to what the playoffs will be after week 17.
I think Titans are safe, Baltimore safe, Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa, Dallas, and LA Rams are safe. The rest are up for grabs.
I think Steelers will drop out. I'm gonna put my neck out on the line for my guy, Mr. OBH, and say that Patriots are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Although if Kansas get firing, Cleveland get firing, Broncos looked good against Dallas. If Seahawks get Russell Wilson back and fit, Russell Wilson is their X factor. He extends plays, and yes, Geno looked really good in their last game. But that connection that Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett have, and even with that DK Metcalf, gives them an extra 10 points a game.
Yes.
I think Seahawks will come up against you. I mean, we've said all along they've got the hardest division. But yeah, I think there's probably 6 teams that are probably going to stay there. The rest are probably going to drop out, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Gentlemen, it's been nice having you both on the show.
Yeah, I believe it's just me and you at OBH on Thursday.
I'm going to be getting punched repeatedly in the head.
He is boxing training, gentlemen, not by his wife.
She's not even my wife. She's my partner, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Tom, I hope you enjoy getting beaten up. Hope to see you again soon. Mr. Hope, we'll see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Stay safe, all.